Hi, it's Inflammable. Oh my god, I can't even say my own name. Inflammable. Oh, that's so embarrassing. No, I'm not restarting the recording. And I just also wanted to start this video by saying I'm a fucking idiot. And do you know why? Because the last two videos I've said to people, hey, drop your pictures in the comments about, hot lifeguard Craig. Give it to me, please. And I only discovered, I think today, that you can't actually put photos in the comments on YouTube. What? Isn't this 2026? What the? Anyway, so I had a whinge to my husband, and he thinks I'm an idiot because he's like, oh, that would create all sorts of problems. And I'm like, but you can comment GIFs and pictures on, like, I don't know, every other social media thing. Why can't you do it on YouTube? So sorry. So if you want to send me photos or chat or do anything, I don't like, I'm a person, right? So I don't know. I'm on Instagram. I think I'm Inflammable77 on there. And I have a Discord, and it's Inflammable00. It just depends because, the username's not always available, Anyway, I'm going to stop yapping about that. The other thing I wanted to share, which is off topic to this fic, is, am I saying this right? Aroki, one of my readers, she sent me this. Somebody did this art, and I don't think it's related to my fic Love in the Fast Lane, but look at it. Look. Isn't it good? It's so canon. Look at him. He's got the finger up. Tweek's yelling. It's a race car. Look, you can see the helmet. Wait, is it actually recording? Oh, yeah, it is. Okay, good. Yeah, I was blown away. Anyway, I asked this person, I said, it reminds me of my story, and, is it? And they haven't replied. So that's fine. It's probably not. It's probably their idea. But it's kind of the colour scheme I had in my mind when I was writing it. The navy and the white in the outfit, and the whole media thing, and him holding his finger up, because there was a chapter about that, where they went back to the clinic and he was protecting Tweek. Anyway, I just thought that was really cool. So I'll shut up about that now, and I'll start reading chapter 4 of Deeper Water, which is the Aloe and Sunscreen. So as you might remember from the last chapter, Tweek and Craig had their little meet on the beach, and this follows on from that. Cool. All right, let's go. On Saturday morning, Tweek sat curled up on the couch comfortably with his third coffee for the day and leisurely reading through his marine biology notes. He had his air conditioning on and a pillow propped up behind him. His swimming gear that he had been out to purchase this morning sat packed up in a drawstring bag on the coffee table. He'd gone and bought swimming trunks, board shorts, goggles, a swim towel and swim cap. It was well after 10 a.m. now, and Kenny was still on his breakfast date with Marge. Tweek had high hopes that if Kenny had managed to seal the deal, that Kenny would remain absent today and swimming lessons would be deferred. However, Tweek was never that lucky. Kenny came charging into the apartment at almost 11 a.m., clearly over-caffeinated and overexcited from his date. "I'm in love," he announced loudly as he dropped his keys on the bench. "Uh-huh," Tweek responded, not even taking his eyes off his notes. He'd heard that before. "No, I'm serious, man. Marge is incredible. We just talked and talked. She's as hilarious as I am, and we would be a perfect couple. She's also just really sweet. Like, I want to take care of her, And crikey, she's hot." Do you know where crikey's from? It's actually from Steve Irwin, if you didn't know that. I mentioned Australia Zoo maybe last video. Anyway, that's why I put it in there. Moving on. Tweek stared. Crikey. Oh, here we go. I explained it in the story. Bloody hell. I'm getting by Australia slang on bra. Crikey. Steve Irwin's catchphrase. Sure, Tweek responded with a cocked eyebrow. Maybe you can get that hot lifeguard to teach you some. Conversation starter. Play the I'm a tourist and not around here, from around here card. I'm not playing any cards, man. I thought I told you to drop it, Tweek snapped. And I told you no way. There's some vibe between you two. I saw it. You were wrong, Tweek responded. Oh, come on, man. What makes you say that? You'll never get laid if you don't show some confidence. And you should have confidence. You're a catch. Tweek sighed and threw his notes aside. Even if he is gay, which he's not, what would be the chances that he's single and into dorks like me? Kenny laughed and took a drink of his water bottle, then helped himself to fishing through Tweek's bag to examine his swim gear. So that's it? Your gaydar doesn't go off and you put him in the straight column? God, Tweek, come on. And so what? You're a bit of a dork. You're a cute, hot dork. Your care is killer. No one has such luscious, natural blonde hair like yours. Your eyes are big and stunning. Green is kind of rare, you know. Your skin is nice. It's flawless. You take care of it. You prefer to shave so it's all smooth. Your muscles are toned. You're thin but not lanky. It's cute, like a doll. You're a natural beauty, Tweek. Then there's your pouty lips. They complete the look. Tweek laughed. Like a doll, sure. A doll that keeps making an ass of himself. Gah! I already told you what I saw. Lifeguard boy was paying great attention to our little interaction, only because he was worried I would drown. Let me finish. Not what I saw. He was looking at you, and he wasn't smiling or laughing when you fell in the water. But he was when you made that little dead sea slug remark. Dude, he's interested. Kenny, yeah. I know what you think you saw, but you're wrong. You'll see. You keep going on these morning beach walks to work and you'll see. Tweek rolled his eyes again and smirked. I'll keep going on those beach walks to prove you wrong. And to collect my shells, he added as an afterthought. Kenny laughed. So you're going to finish that coffee and we head out? That wiped the smirk off Tweek's face. They reached the public pool at almost 11:30. It was busy, which Kenny hadn't thought of. A weekend in summer and a public pool would attract a lot of people. It really does. Like, is it like that where you live? Because here it's like nuts. Anyway, thankfully, most of the action was in the kiddies pool and in the lagoon area that families with kids were playing in. Kenny found them a spot in the undercover pool down by the shallowest end. When Tweek got back from getting changed, Kenny Wolf whistled in. God, Kenny, cut that out. What? I don't see you shirtless much. And you tied your hair up in a bun. It's cute. Now, this is what you need to work on your morning bit. What you need to. Now, this is what you need to. I was going to say where then. Hey, work on your morning beach walks. Go strolling past the lifeguard looking like this and his jaw will hit the floor. Officially dropped. Ah, no way, man. That's way too much pressure. Kenny laughed and splashed the water beside him. Come on, get in. Once Tweek awkwardly slid into the pool, Kenny started talking immediately. Right, so you can touch the bottom? Yeah, good. I figured so. So, I think we should just get you used to treading water. Like, you can use your arms. How? Easy. Go to the edge and I'll tell you what to do. This went terribly. Kenny kept showing Tweek with his own demonstrations, and Tweek floundered around and sank several times. After the fifth failed attempt, Kenny frowned as Tweek coughed and spluttered on the pool's edge. Okay, let's try something else. Next, Kenny tried to get Tweek to swim while he held on to him. But I don't know what I'm doing, Tweek complained. Just try, dude. Arms in front, then push them apart. Kick your legs and just stay afloat. Great advice, Tweek thought sarcastically. After a few failed attempts, Kenny was correcting Tweek's technique. Don't kick so rapidly, just slow it down a bit. Are you crazy? How am I supposed to stay floating? You just relax, dude. Just here. Next, they tried floating. Tweek couldn't relax, so he kept going under. Kenny rescued him every time and was keen to persist, but after a while, Tweek got cranky and tired. Kenny, this isn't working. I suck at this. Nonsense. Hey, maybe we leave swimming technique for another time. What about we just try getting used to your head under the water? Just here, move back. Tweek adjusted his green goggles and stepped a few paces away from Kenny in the shallowest part of the pool. Okay, it's easy. Head under, lose your footing, back up. Got it? For how long? Whatever you can manage. Just hold your breath. Okay. Tweek wasn't relaxing. He couldn't lower his inhibitions enough to trust the water. His experience with Kenny so far had made him more anxious. He had less water confidence than when they started out. Eventually, he leaned on the side of the pool and pulled his goggles off. He was done. Kenny, I'm done. Seriously, can we go? Kenny sighed and looked around the crowded pool. Yeah, sure. Go get changed. I'll do a few laps. Tweek trudged back to the accommodation with his head down, and Kenny walked beside him, trying to reassure him. It's fine, Tweek. It just takes practice. It won't happen overnight. Tweek pouted and shook his head. Maybe I just need a professional to teach me, man. I think that'd be the worst for you, dude. At least you know me and don't mind me bossing you around. Tweek scoffed. Sure, that's the issue. Kenny took the hint. What? I'm not a good teacher. No? I almost drowned 20 times, Kenny. I'm supposed to feel somewhat safe. Not like every attempt is going to end my life. Okay, I'll work on it. We can try again tomorrow. No way, man. I need a week to recover from that. Kenny ruffled Tweek's hair, which was out of the bun and drying off. I'll work on my teaching skills. Just don't give up, dude. Tweek conceded at Kenny's genuine facial expression and nodded. On Monday morning, Tweek was alarmed when he found Kenny was awake early again. Surprise! Don't worry, I'm not coming on your little romantic stroll. The birds woke me up with their chirping, and I thought I should at least attempt to read some notes before work. How studious of you, Tweek teased, ignoring Kenny's poor attempt at riling him up. So Kenny tried again. Got your outfit picked out for work? I'd wear a singlet to show off some skin, or no shirt at all. Ditch the hat, let him see your golden locks, and wear those blue and black board shorts. They go above your knees on you. It's hot. Kenny, for God's sake, I always ditch the hat. It's early and I like the wind in my hair. As for the singlet, green or white? Green brings out your eyes, Kenny responded promptly, his eyes not leaving his notes. As Tweek was leaving, there was a knock at the apartment door. Frowning, Tweek opened it cautiously. It was Wendy. She seemed far less composed than usual. She wore no shoes, her fringe was brushed lazily off to the side with the rest of her hair in a lopsided ponytail, and she wore a casually oversized purple shirt over her floral bed shorts. Good morning. I know you'd be awake. I always see you leave early. Anyway, my roommate failed to buy any coffee from the grocery shop on the weekend. Do you have any to spare? Shop downstairs open at 7 a.m, Kenny called out coldly, again with his eyes fixed on his notes. And this is true in Australia, Monday to Friday. Our big supermarkets are generally standardised for 7 a.m. So, like, canon. Cool. Wendy sidestepped Tweek and stood just inside the doorway with her eyes narrowed and arms crossed. We have to leave soon, she reasoned. That's not my problem, Kenny retorted rudely. Tweek looked between them in confusion. He was unsure why Kenny was being so standoffish. It's okay, Wendy. I only have enough a couple of copies left anyway, and I was going to pick some up after work. Wait here. Tweek moved quickly to the kitchen. I don't know why you're being so rude, you know, Wendy fired at Kenny. If you don't know, I'm not going to tell you. Wendy looked thoroughly confused and looked at Tweek for clarification. However, Tweek struggled and mouthed, sorry, to her. What? Kenny threw his notes down onto his lap on the sofa and gave Wendy an icy stare. You've been putting your head together with Kevin and saying shit about me, telling him I sleep with anything with a pulse, telling him I hit it and quit it. Who do you think you are? Now it's gotten back to my lady friend, who thankfully has heard my side of the story and is still giving me the time of the day. What, you got nothing better to gossip about? Wendy looked hurt for a moment, then she quickly transitioned to a state of anger. Hey, it's the truth. You slept with my friend Annie at the start of last semester and she never heard from you again. You have a reputation, Kenny. I'm not exactly spreading lies. And you slept with Ryan Walters, Stan Marsh again, Broomy Jones, and that was last semester alone, Kenny shot back in triumph. How did you even? She spluttered. I was dating Stan Marsh. That wasn't a hookup, she added furiously. Her cheeks flushed, her eyes flashed dangerously, and her mouth twitched. Well, hey, let's just agree that I did some things and you did some things. You stop saying shit about me, I'll conveniently keep that information to myself. Wendy looked like she was biting her tongue. She stayed silent for a moment before nodding. Doesn't mean I have to like you, she said at last, accepting the almost empty a jar of coffee from Tweek with a small thank you. And I know the truth. Do you remember the masquerade party back in orientation week? That was me that almost took you home. But I got a better offer, Kenny retorted with an air of dropping a bombshell. Wendy almost dropped the coffee jar. I wasn't there, and even if I was, I would have smelt you from a mile away, she retorted weakly. Then with an air of a guilty person, she added, I don't have to listen to this. See you at work, Tweek. She exited with a quiet huff and slammed the door. Tweek looked at Kenny wordlessly, signalling he wanted further clarification. It was her, Stan Marsh told me. And we are bros, so I backed off. She's super frisky on the booze. She's not one to talk. Sure, I've slept with lots of women, but at least I'm honest about it. You also know, bro, that I've had relationships. Maybe they haven't lasted years like some of Wendy's have, but it doesn't mean I can't last the distance one day. Is Marge actually okay about it? Tweek asked, picking up his bag and keys. Yeah, she appreciated the honesty. I also told her the same. I meet the right person and those days are over. Tweek had his doubts, but he nodded. Right, well, I'll see you. See you, Tweakers. Remember what I said about losing the shirt? Kenny winked. Shut up, Kenny. Tweek felt nervous as he approached the esplanade to the beach that morning. Only a couple of days ago he had embarrassed himself completely. He supposed it couldn't get any worse though, and he wasn't keen on giving up his beach walks over the incident. Besides, he wanted to assess the damage. He noticed immediately that the flags were out, and it only took a few seconds to notice that the lifeguard was in front of the chalkboard again. He had his shirt on today. Tweek wasn't sure if this was a good thing or a bad thing. Tweek, it's a bad thing. But Tweek was sure the lifeguard was looking in Tweek's direction. Well, this would be interesting. The shoreline was foamy this morning. Tweek walked in front of it, which put him closer to the lifeguard. At least he was minimising his chances of falling in the water on his ass again. Getting closer, he locked eyes with the man again. Amazingly, the man's mouth tugged slightly into a smile. Tweek returned it slightly, then realised what that was meant to say he did and panicked. His eyes flew to the ocean waves crashing into the shore. Then he heard it. A masculine voice with a nasal pitch to it, clear as day. I can't do this. Hang on. Good morning. No, that sounds terrible. I'm just going to read normal. Okay. Tweek slowed his walking. His neck snapped to the lifeguard to confirm his hearing. Yep, he was looking right at him. Uh, good morning, he managed out. The lifeguard held Tweek's gaze until Tweek looked away nervously. He found himself walking faster, his heart racing from nerves, his palms sweaty, his mouth felt dry. Once he was clear of the flagged area, he face-palmed. Stupid, stupid, he cursed to himself. But by the time he finished his walk, he tried to reason with himself. At least he managed to say something. And the lifeguard didn't seem disappointed in Tweek's response. He was still looking at Tweek curiously, still holding his gaze. As Tweek walked into the air-conditioned science centre, he came to the realisation that maybe it wasn't a total disaster after all. The lifeguard had said good morning to him and he returned it. Not bad, he thought. Tuesday morning brought the same encounter, except this time Tweek was more confident in the good morning return. He even managed to hold a small smile and eye contact a little longer. Things got a little more interesting on Wednesday morning. This time the lifeguard was shirtless. He was putting a second flag out when Tweek approached. Tweek noticed his white water bottle was sitting on the ground near the chalkboard. The lifeguard seemed to be hastening his movements as he saw Tweek approaching. Hoping he wasn't going to drop the flag from his clear efforts to hurry, Tweek intentionally slowed his walking pace. This seems to help out greatly. The lifeguard let out a sigh of relief as Tweek was within a metre of passing him. Good morning, he panted at Tweek, wiping his sweaty brow. Hot, hot, hot. Tweek scolded himself. He had already given himself a mental talking to prior to getting closer. Look above the pecs, oh sweet Jesus. Good morning. Wait. Tweek knew he had misheard. He stopped and turned. He felt a lump in his Adam's apple and felt his pulse quickening. The lifeguard dashed his water bottle and picked something up off the ground. Then he dashed back to Tweek and extended his hand. A shell. A really pretty shell. It was from the oyster family and it appeared immaculate. It had a beautiful pearly finish on the underside and was purple and white. I've seen you collecting shells, and I found this morning on the shore. I found this out on the shore this morning. I thought you might like it. Tweek couldn't help but smile widely, and feel his heart go soft and gooey. That's so kind of you. I love it. I think it's the best shell I've seen out here. Tweek accepted it with a small noise of appreciation and admired it further. He wasn't lying. It was truly a spectacular shell. Most of these ones get beaten up by the waves by the time they make it in, the lifeguard explained, smiling as he watched Tweek gaze at the shell. Tweek dared to glance back at him. Thank you. I guess I look a bit silly out here each morning picking them up all the time. Tweek blushed from embarrassment. Oh, no, not at all. Loads of people do it, he replied with a stammer, raising his hands, almost like he too was nervous. Tweek blushed deeper. I better put this somewhere where it won't break. Tweek thought out loud more to himself, gently lowering his backpack to find a secure compartment. Are you new around here? I haven't seen you before last week, the lifeguard asked. Yes, new, very new. Still adjusting to Australia, Tweek squeaked out nervously, donning his backpack again. You're from abroad? Are you on vacation? The lifeguard looked a little bit disappointed. Yeah, working holiday thing for uni. I'm here for a few months at least, maybe longer. I'm from America. The lifeguard perked up a bit. Oh, a few months and maybe longer, he repeated, nodding. Yeah. Where do you go every day? The lifeguard asked. Oh, I walk around the headland to the science centre in the cove. I don't start work right away. I leave early so I can walk and enjoy the beach, get a decent coffee before I start. Tweek suddenly realised he was having an actual conversation with this man and gave himself a mental pat on the back. It was easier than he thought. The lifeguard had such a handsome face and such captivating eyes that keeping his eyes above the man's chest was easier than expected. What sort of work are you doing there? Marine biology, research on the Great Barrier Reef. I study biology back home in Colorado. The lifeguard smiled. He looked genuinely interested and happy to be talking to Tweek. Tweek tried to breathe. He stayed aware of his posture, nerves threatening to spill over. That's so interesting. The lifeguard's nasal quality to his voice was more pronounced as he spoke. I am at uni too. I'm studying aerospace engineering. I'm sorry, I'm laughing because nasally. Sorry, I'm a wackadoodle. Okay, here we go. Wait, where am I? Wow, Tweek breathed out. He was impressed. Then Tweek exclaimed far more loudly, "You're a student, but you're always here." The lifeguard chuckled. "It's holidays at the moment. I go back to uni at the end of February, so like 6 weeks away. I'll still be working, just less. The demand after summer for work drops anyway." "Oh, that makes sense," Tweek smiled. He then looked at his watch. "I better keep walking. I still have a ways to go." "Nice talking to you." "Yeah, you too." The lifeguard smiled and nodded. Tweek got a fair distance away before he smacked his head. "I didn't ask his name." Tweek kept his encounter with the lifeguard private from Kenny. When Kenny badgered him at dinner that night, Tweek brushed it off and said nothing happened, and the worst he endured was Kenny teasing him over the lifeguard being shirtless. Now, we get a morning where you're both shirtless and he will jump you at the shoreline, Kenny joked mischievously, poking Tweek's chest in the kitchen. "Don't be ridiculous." Tweek's new shell had made it home safely, and he had placed it carefully on the side table. The others he had stashed in jars and tacked on his windowsill. This shell was special. Now that Thursday came, Tweek felt far more positive about any further interaction with the lifeguard, although he was still hazy on the intentions. Finding a shell, thinking of Tweek, and making an effort to give it to him. It was really sweet. But it wasn't necessarily isolated to a gesture of romantic, I think I should say romance. I'll have to go back and fix a few of these things. I think I typed this chapter on my phone when we were driving, like 5 hours drive. Like, I think that's why I've made a lot of typos. Anyway, I make a lot of typos all the time, don't get me wrong. Anyway, let me keep going. And I could have very well just felt sorry for Tweek after the incident on Friday. Maybe he did laugh at Tweek, knew that Tweek had heard and now felt bad. The sky this morning was overcast. It was grey and dull with a few stray white fluffy clouds. The ocean was far less calm this morning too, large waves already crashing to shore and the tide higher than Tweek was used to. Despite this, it was still warm and humid. This brought about another morning of the lifeguard being shirtless, and once again he was waiting at the chalkboard. As Tweek approached, the lifeguard turned around to gaze at the beach buggy for a moment. Then Tweek noticed it. His upper mid-back was red from sunburn. "Gah! Good morning," the lifeguard nodded his head at Tweek. "I forgot to—" "You're sunburned," Tweek interrupted, his worry erupting. Your back? Does it hurt?" "Oh, am I?" The lifeguard frowned. "I guess it's where I can't reach to apply my sunscreen." "But what about your shirt? That would help protect you. Where is it?" Lifeguard tower," the lifeguard admitted, shrugging. He provided no further explanation. Tweek panicked. It was on the tip of his tongue to ask, "Does he dare?" He gazed at the lifeguard's eyes. He seemed calm and engaged in the conversation. He dared. "I have aloe," Tweek announced, dropping his backpack. He pulled out a small green tube. "Turn around, please. I'll make her feel better." The lifeguard gaped at him, then his cheeks flushed. "Okay, are you sure?" "Positive." Tweek swallowed. That was permission to touch. Oh, sweet Jesus. The lifeguard's torso was long. He had his shoulders squared. He stayed still. Tweek gulped as he applied a generous amount of the aloe to his right hand and capped it, then threw it on the sand for a moment. He took a deep breath and touched. Tweek was sure to be gentle. He used very light, soothing touch, just using his fingers to spread the aloe over the red spot. He noticed the lifeguard was tense. "Done," Tweek announced, removing his hand like his hand too had been burned. "Thanks. That did feel nice. You're gentle. That aloe will be dry in minute." That was meant to be a minute. God, I'm an idiot. "I can put some sunscreen on where you can't usually reach." "I wouldn't say no," the lifeguard quickly responded. Oh, Christ. So here Tweek was again, this time squeezing sunscreen onto his hand and applying it onto the lifeguard's back. Oh, my God. "I forgot to ask you your name yesterday," the lifeguard said suddenly as Tweek rubbed the sunscreen in with care. "You know, I thought the same thing. My name is Tweek." "Tweek? Huh. Is that like a nickname?" No. Unfortunately, no, it's not. My parents are that's stupid." "Is your family European or something? It sounds kind of foreign." "Not European, just stupid," Tweek chuckled as he finished up. "I'm Craig. A much more normal name. I like it." "Nice to meet you, Craig." When Tweek finished, he removed his hand quickly. "All done." Craig turned back around and met Tweek's gaze as he straightened up from zipping up his backpack. He seemed a little flustered, but he smiled. Then he cleared his throat. "God, he's handsome," Tweek thought. "Thanks. That was really nice of you. I should be more careful. You do have your shirt, or you can get someone to help you. Apply the sunscreen. The sun is dangerous, man." Craig smirked. "I live alone. I might need some help on the job from a nice, friendly stranger." Ooh-ah. Tweek tilted his head and gazed at Craig wide-eyed. Craig meant him. "Gah! Sure, happy to help. I better go. Have a good day, Craig." "You too, Tweek." Tweek's mind was in overdrive as he walked away. Oh, God. He talked to him. He touched him. He learned his name. He flirted with him, maybe? Or maybe Tweek was reading the signs that weren't there. By the time he got to work, his head hurt. Oh, bless him. But he got to touch Craig. I mean, he should be jumping around and cheering and putting the arms up in the air. Hoo-ha. Oh, my God. So that was chapter 4. Cool. Thanks for listening, for anyone that bothers to listen to these. And what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, I'm going to go back and fix up a few of my silly typos because, I can't type. Okay, see you later. Bye.